Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Olajumoke Olatoji. In our major stories, twin bomb explosions rock GSM market in Kano 24 hours after Damawa blast. Also in this program, President Muhammadu Buhari forwards supplementary appropriation bill of 465.663 billion naira to the National Assembly for consideration. Senate President Bukola Saraki inaugurates 7 recently constituted standing committees of the Upper Legislative Chamber. And outside Nigeria, Bangladesh's highest court clears way for the execution of 2 senior opposition politicians convicted of crimes against humanity during the country's independence war in 1971. Many thanks for joining us tonight. 2 bomb explosions have gone off at Kano GSM market around Farm Center. According to eyewitnesses, the first explosion occurred at the market entrance, while the second device exploded near a pavilion in the center of the market. The Kano State Police Commissioner, Muhammadu Kassina, has also confirmed the incident. He told newsmen the 2 explosive devices were detonated by 2 female suicide bombers. Kassina said only 3 people died in the incident, while 8 others were injured. Although eyewitnesses claim the number of casualties may be higher, the incident came less than 24 hours after a similar explosion occurred in Crowded Park in Yola. The Adamawa state capital left at least 34 people dead and 80 injured. Wednesday's blast is the first attack on Kano since July 6, when a female suicide bomber struck near a mosque in the city, killing herself. Senate President Bukola Saraki has inaugurated the first 7 of the recently constituted standing committees of the Upper Legislative Chamber. The committees include Committee on Appropriation, Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Services, Finance, INEC, National Security and Intelligence, Communications and ICT, as well as Public Accounts. Senator Saraki used the opportunity to charge the leaders and members of the committees to uphold the highest ethical standard in discharging their duties. He also warned members of the committee that sanctions will be meted out to those found culpable.
Regular attendance to meetings cannot be overemphasized. The leadership of all Senate committees must take care to run an inclusive structure and avoid a situation where the impression is made that the affairs of the committee has become a one-man or two-man show. This Senate will not tolerate this. This is not in line with our legislative agenda. This is not in line with the spirit of the 8th Senate. And I want to make it clear that we must work and depart from this. The 8th Senate expects that committees will treat all their bills and reports referred to them expeditiously, especially those related to our legislative agenda. The same applies to all our oversight reports.
Today, for example, the Senate President, towards the end of the session, I think at the beginning, read the letter conveying from His Excellency the President the 2015 Supplementary Appropriation Bill. And in order to give this bill accelerated consideration. The two relevant committees, most relevant in handling this supplementary appropriation bill, are among the first 7 that are going to be inaugurated. These committees are the Appropriations Committee and the Finance Committee. This is to ensure that we give accelerated consideration to Mr. President's supplementary bill.
The Senate on Tuesday directed the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board to review the period of validity of its results to 3 years. The resolution is a fallout of a motion raised by the senator representing Gombe South, Joshua Lidani, on the new admission policy of the tertiary examination body. Those in support of the motion argued that an extension will reduce pressure on parents, as well as JAMB, which has been saddled with the responsibility of conducting entry-level examinations for all tertiary institutions. The motion was later referred to the Senate Committee on Education. Earlier, Senator Oluremi Tinubu had caused a mild stir when she sought to second the motion on the World Bank loan from the seat meant for Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu. Now, this angered senators representing the People's Democratic Party, who insisted on her doing so from her seat. Her excuse was that the microphone was not functional. She left for a seat to second the motion, but soon returned to Ekweremadu's seat.
My mic is not working. Mr. President, if you don't mind me, I will carry the season. It's all right.
Point of order. Point of order. Which kind of person be this? Are you a leader? You are there. No, what?
It's not working. It means I can't use it. Come on, sit down here. Okay, thank you very much. Can I do it from there? Can I do it from here? This one.
Address the chairs. You are protected, Senator Tinubu. Go ahead. It's your passion for this report. That's why I felt it to be good for you to second the motion.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second that the motion of the report of the Ad hoc Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, approval of Lagos State Development Policy Operation 2, DPO2, loan of US $200 million to be approved by the Senate. Thank you.
President Muhammadu Buhari is seeking the approval. President Muhammadu Buhari has forwarded a supplementary appropriation bill of 465.636 billion naira to the National Assembly for consideration. Presenting the bill at plenary, Senator of the House of Representatives Yakubu Duga outlined areas of concentration of the 2015 bill. Inspector General of Police Solomon Arasi has deployed Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations Shotoye Wakama to Lokoja ahead of Saturday's governorship elections. Now, this is to ensure adequate police presence and coordination of all security operations for the election in all polling units and collation centers in the state. The Inspector General of Police also directed the AIG in charge of the police air wing to deploy the force's helicopter for aerial patrol before, during and after the election on Saturday. In a statement issued by the Force Public Relations Officer, Olapisi Kolawale, the IGP also warned troublemakers to stay away from the state during and after the election. He said that the police will not hesitate to arrest and prosecute any person who flouts the order or causes a breach of the peace, no matter how highly placed in society. Arasi also ordered all police officers assigned to election duties in the state to ensure that they work in line with the police code of conduct and international best practices. He equally called on members of the public, particularly politicians, governorship candidates and other relevant stakeholders in the state to cooperate with the police and other security agencies. The federal government is to launch a national campaign on reorientation. This, according to Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, is to ensure the Nigerians embrace the spirit of change, which he says is manifesting in the country. He says this on Wednesday in Abuja when Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, paid him a courtesy visit.
Efforts to launch a nationwide campaign, a huge campaign on national orientation. A campaign that will make it possible for Nigerians to see that paradigm shift. Because what we need to succeed in this country, that we must stop doing things the way we do it. You do not do things the same way and expect a different result. We are resolved with the boy administration that that change will come. We are going to work aggressively with the ministry, we work with the bureaucracy, because in the bureaucracy you have one of the best minds.
Today, by the grace of God, we have an experienced information manager, a dogged fighter, a dedicated nationalist, and a person committed to the advancement of the interest of Nigeria as your minister. So I came to greet my brother and congratulate you for perhaps getting one of the best ministers you would have ever had.
A civil society organization, Social Action, is raised alarm in nations and Nigeria's public debt, which it says has risen to 12.12 trillion naira as on June 30th, 2015. National coordinator of the group, Vivian Bello, revealed this at a forum in Abuja. She, however, noted the increased rate of borrowing among governments at all levels had not significantly impacted infrastructure development in the country. She also warned that money from loans had been stolen or mismanaged in the same way that oil revenues have been misappropriated by government officials.
We have a situation whereby our collective resources are being channeled out to agents, to foreign governments and foreign bodies and foreign agents to the detriment of we Nigerians. And so we want to take back our resources, and monies that have been that are being used as to service debts, debt servicing, loan servicing. These monies have compromised our development. These monies have compromised our lives as Nigerians. These monies have compromised our health. As I speak to you today, over 30% of the budget is being used to service debt. And this is, you can agree with me that this is a terrible situation.
Getting it right means sticking to the provisions of the law. And the Fiscal Responsibility Act is clear. It says you can only borrow for human for human development or for capital projects. You cannot borrow for recurrent expenditure to pay salaries and overheads. You need to do a cost-benefit analysis, borrow in a sustainable manner, make sure you borrow, take loans that have long amortization period, and they should be on concessional terms. Once you get this right, and of course you need to have legislative approval, and borrow for projects that can generate economic growth, to regenerate the economy so that in future you are able to pay, even if it is to train the manpower, the human beings in society that will help us grow.
The Nigerian police has once again emphasized that roadblocks are banned in the country and the Nigerians should report any form of extortion from corrupt police personnel, while also emphasizing the bail is free in all of its stations across the country. CSP Abayomi Shugule, officer in charge of the newly introduced Complaints Response Unit of the police, says it's a new dawn under the leadership of IGP Solomon Arase. He made the submissions on Wednesday when he featured as guest on a flagship news and current affairs program called Digest.
Yes, roadblocks are banned. The ban on roadblocks are still in force. But what we are now encouraging is stop and search points. Stop and search points and visibility policing. And you are going to see police officers flagging a vehicle down to carry out a search on the vehicle or on the persons in the vehicle. Those are allowed, and those are the only things they are going to be doing. The moment it turns to requesting for money, then that is outside the responsibility. You know, in the past, yes, we had it clearly written in police stations, bail is free. But if something to the contrary happens, who will you report to? Probably nobody. But the game changer here and the difference is this CRU and the information the different platform provided. So I think I will encourage members of the public to lay their complaints, and we'll definitely look into it. These are the numbers, and we have 0805 700 001 and 0805 700 002. Those two numbers are strictly for phone calls. We are not going to take text messages on those ones. Then the one for text messaging and WhatsApp is 0805 700 0003. Then we also have a Twitter handle which is @policeng_CRU. Then there's also a Facebook page which is www.facebook.com/npfcomplaint. facebook.com/npfcomplaint.
This is still CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take a quick break. I'll be back. My star is Please join us again.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, child looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
This is CoreTV Primetime News. A quick reminder of major stories. Twin bomb explosions rock GSM markets in Kano 24 hours after Damawa blast. President Muhammadu Buhari forwards supplementary appropriation bill of 465.636 billion naira to the National Assembly for consideration. Senate President Bukola Saraki inaugurates 7 recently constituted standing committees of the Upper Legislative Chamber. Thank you for joining us again. Now, for more news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. Those implicated by the investigative panel on arms procurement have been ordered arrested by President Muhammadu Buhari. The presidency says this last night. Interim reports chronicles alleged massive misappropriation and outright theft of public funds in billions of naira and in foreign currencies. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina says in a statement that the president issued an executive order for the arrest after receiving the preliminary report of the probe of arms procurement between 2007 and 2015 by the committee raised in August 31 by National Security Advisor Babagana Monguno. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed that the relevant organizations arrest and bring to book all individuals who have been found complicit in this illegal and fraudulent act, according to the statement. The National Electricity Regulatory Commission is denied claims that its management has approved the 2.7 billion severance package for board members. At a media briefing in Abuja, the Commission Chairman Sam Amadi and his commissioners battled to convince the divided press the reported church spread will multiply effect at the same time are false. Amadi says the alleged report, which is becoming a trend, smacks of a calculated insider and outsider attempt to tarnish the image of the organization.
In the last couple of weeks, the National Electricity Regulatory Commission has come under serious attack over claims of an approval of a sumptuous severance package for its board members. The House of Representatives has also joined the fray by launching an investigation. The 2.7 billion naira largesse is said to be for the chairman and some members of the agency who are due to complete their tenures soon. Representatives of the media which made the claims and those whose position on the matter is difficult to determine listen as the NEC chairman labored to prove the falsehood of the report. He said the accusation, which is becoming a trend, demanded attention as he cited a 2008 attack which resulted in the removal and prosecution of NEC commissioners.
The attack is worrisome because it follows the pattern of similar attacks in the past, around 2008, when close to the end of the tenure of the pioneer commissioners, when a few persons who were perhaps just to take over leadership of the commission contrived corruption charges against the pioneer commissioners and engineered their illegal removal and wrongful prosecution. That deliberate, that exercise, that error cost Nigeria dearly and damaged the nascent power sector reform.
More worrisome for NEC is that efforts to push the relevant documents to the National Daily in order to correct and refute the stories were rebuffed. The chairman also spoke about protests.
Youths printed T-shirts, thousands of T-shirts, face caps, and handbills in readiness to protest against what they call corruption in NEC on account of the fabricated 2.7 billion that NEC commissioners are supposed to share. The website was hacked and everybody's email was compromised. In fact, as a matter of fact, there was an email purportedly sent to the Commissioner for Finance and Management with my signature from my email account requesting for transfer of funds to me in London, in UK, while I was in office throughout.
The Commission said its record of being the most transparent public agency was being compromised and insisted that severance benefits were done in line with existing laws.
As regards the severance package, to staff and commissioners of finance.
Former Speaker of the Ekiti State House of Assembly, Adewale Omiri, has reacted to the decision of the Fifth Assembly, led by Kolawole Oluwawole, to quash his impeachment. The Fifth Assembly has sometimes last week made available to newsmen the letter written to it by Omiri asking the House to reverse his impeachment. Omiri, however, accused the new House of Assembly of arm twisting, blackmail and breach of trust. He says it was initially billed to head to court but was contacted by the House asking him to write a letter asking for reversal of his impeachment, but the House of Assembly later turned around, but only to make the letter available to newsmen, but also to ridicule him by not reversing the impeachment.
He didn't want me to go to court, and he felt he could just ridicule me. It's not ridiculing me. The Assembly are ridiculing themselves. I just want to put the record straight. It's an insult seeing Olugbemi's picture hanged in that place as the Speaker of the House. So I want that one obliterated. So I'm going ahead to court and I'm going to challenge it.
The time is coming that all the records will be set straight. And the time is very near. And Fauci, sincerely speaking, is going to pay for all this because the long arm of law will catch up with him, and it's going to be a very serious situation there.
Now, having used all means to drive home their grievance without fruitful result, pensioners in Ekiti State have resorted to fasting and prayers, seeking the face of God over unpaid pensions and gratuities. Speaking at the prayer session in Ado-Ekiti, the pensioners plead to government at all levels to come to their aid. Rashid reports.
That is the situation at the Ado-Ekiti headquarters of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners. The reason for the prayer is about their unpaid gratuity and pensions over the years. The prayer, they say, is better than them carrying placards.
Many of us are more than 70 years of age, more than the Fidian age, and it is only God that can really assist us to touch the mind of those people in power.
That's the language of some people, that they are about to check out people who are 80 and more. And so, before they go, let their pensions, their entitlements be paid.
Explaining hardships faced without pension, these senior citizens plead to government at all levels to see to their plight.
Our children who should be feeding us, they have no job. So we are the ones struggling to feed them.
Since September 2010, I have not been paid my monthly pension. It is now 6 years, 11 months since I have received my federal pension. I want Buhari and his government to see to the others, not to me alone, those who have not been paid. We should not be denied of our pension. I retired in September 1986.
While these elders continue to pray, it is hoped that their plea will be heard and hearkened to. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
As the Nigeria Society of Engineers Conference progresses in Akure, the Ondo State capital, the need for the country to develop homegrown technology has come to the forefront. Once again, of spectacular attention are young inventors who developed intercity car KX100, an electric car designed for zero vehicle emission code named DEV P1. Thus, young inventors say the automobile policy should be extended to accommodate their plight for the development of Nigeria. Our correspondent Rashid reports once again.
The International Conference Center, otherwise known as the Dome, is one of the eye-catching exhibitions showcased by Nigerian engineers. This, they say, is a sign that local engineers are up to the task in turning the country around for better. But young inventors are not left out in the drive. The Calox 100 is a car designed to cater for intra-city runarounds.
People go from work to home, church, around, and the cars they don't need a very high-performance car to actually do this, because we need to get a car that everybody can have in Nigeria, and this car serves that purpose. And with a speed limit of 80 kilometers per hour, it's very good to drive around the city. The tank is 10 liters, which means with 10 liters you can use this car for 2 weeks within the state. That is how efficient it is when it comes to fuel consumption. And when it comes to maintenance, it is very, very easy to maintain because it's not as complex as most of the cars we have out there. It's just a simple mechanism that works this automobile.
And as the world preaches climate-friendly inventions, these students of University of Lagos may have answer with their Dove P1 invention.
Dove means designed for zero vehicle emissions. So that means there's no smoke, there's nothing at all. So it's just purely electric and it's just for the environment to be safer.
These youngsters, however, call for government support.
We are ready to start our company.
I want them to support us so we can, and sponsor us so we can build something better than this.
It is hoped that the aspiration of Nigeria to be technologically independent will be realized sooner than later. Rashid, CoreTV News, Akure.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has deployed 5,000 personnel, sniffers, dog, and other security machinery for the November 21 governorship election in Kogi State. This, according to the NSCDC Commandant General Abdullahi Muhammad, is because a robust security architecture is necessary to guarantee security during the electoral process. Spokesman for the Corps, Emmanuel Oke, said in a statement that the Commandant General expresses confidence that all the security agencies would have a seamless operation during the Kogi State elections. He also warned potential troublemakers that they would be dealt with, while urging parents to caution the wards against thuggery and all forms of electoral violence. Meanwhile, the NSCDC State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps on Wednesday arrested 2 persons suspected to be pipeline vandals in the state. The 2 suspects were arrested between 2 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. in Iwo local government's area of the state. According to the State Commandant of the Corps, Shoaib Jibril, the suspects are Ifeanyi Chukwu and Nkem Indika, who hailed from Amonye village in the Shago community of the Ivo local government area of the state. He said the suspects will be charged to court as soon as the command concludes its investigation on the matter. He cautioned youths in the state to avoid vandalizing pipelines and other federal government installations within and outside their communities, as the command was prepared to arrest and prosecute anybody found culpable. The Federal Road Safety Commission in Ogun State has confirmed the death of 5 persons and 12 others sustained injuries in 2 separate accidents at the toll gate Songwater on Wednesday. The unit's commander of the FRSC in the area, Laya Degboega, confirms that the first accident occurred at about 12:10 a.m., while the second one happened at about 6:40 a.m. Adegboega attributed the 2 crashes that occurred on the same spot to carelessness on the part of the drivers of the trucks involved in the accident. He said that the brake of a Lafarge trailer that was heading to Lagos from Abeokuta failed and rammed into 8 vehicles, which resulted in the death of 5 persons, while 4 persons sustained various degrees of injury in the first accident. All efforts by the FRSC officials to get the registration number of the Lafarge truck proved abortive because the truck fell into a ditch. Now, as part of its cardinal commitment of growing a healthy citizenry with quality daily nutrition, WAMCO Nigeria has launched a high-grade milk called Peak Wazobia. This is backed by the desire to make rich and creamy evaporated milk accessible to all Nigerians. According to the managing director, Brao Kolako, First 9 campaign is concerned is to focus on the issue of malnutrition in Nigeria. Our correspondent Sarah Yako has details of the launch of Peak Wazobia.
Milk, creamy and a rich source of protein and calcium, which is essential for healthy bones and teeth, is considered by experts to be the awesome supplement for children and adults' nutrition. In the bid to address the issue of malnutrition in Nigeria and make milk more accessible to all Nigerians, Friesland Campina has launched a Peak Wazobia and a range of other low-unit packs of Peak and 3 crowns evaporated and powdered milk in order to increase consumers' option of quality dairy products.
Concerned about the high level of malnutrition, especially amongst children, and we would like to bring the goodness of dairy and make it accessible and available to all Nigerians. And this is exactly why we are enhancing our range of low unit portion packs with the launch of the Peak Wazobia and the 3 Crowns evaporated and powdered milk. And these products are ranging from a price of 10 naira to 50 naira. And they're going to be available all across the country, across all stores. And this is about addressing the serious issue of malnutrition we have across the country.
Being called low unit packs does not mean that it is not rich in protein and calcium. The ultimate goal is to nourish Nigerians of different age groups.
They go through the tight quality checks to ensure the quality that we have here is the quality that we certify and the NAFDAC certifies for. The product that we have in the small unit packs is the same milk that you would get in a regular tin. We have not reduced the quality of our products because Peak or 3 Crowns is known for its best quality, and we have ensured that the best quality goes to each and every mouth of our beloved country.
A community and nutrition expert from the academia believes the launch of this rich milk, Peak Wazobia, is a dietary-rich milk in the revolution of the nutritional provision for Nigerians.
In terms of fatness has been shown indeed that dairy product can help you to lose weight in the sense that calcium, it actually makes fat to be very thin, and it wants it to be soap, whereby it will flush out. The nutrients in milk is very good for you, as I said, even for andropause, even for menopause. It helps also because the magnesium, the zinc, and the chromium and other things, calcium and phosphorus, they help.
With this recent market launch of Peak Wazobia and other low unit packs, Friesland serves milk at prices that fits everyone's pocket. Sarah Ayeku, CoreTV News, Lagos.
We'll take another quick break. I'll be back with business, sports, and outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
The Senate has approved the second tranche of the World Bank loan for Lagos State's development policy operation. The approval came after the ad hoc committee on local and foreign debt chaired by Senator Kabiru Gaya submitted its reports to the Senate. Our correspondent Basiye reports that President Muhammadu Buhari formally made the request on November 3rd.
The request for approval of the loan by President Buhari was expected to enjoy overwhelming support when the report was finally brought to the Committee of the Whole. And that was exactly the case when the chairman of the ad hoc committee, Kabiru Gaya, presented the report for consideration. Senate leader Ali Ndume insisted that there was no need to debate the report.
That the committee recommends that the Senate do approve the Lagos State Development Policy Approval 3, Operation 3, that's DPO 3, in the sum of $200 million as requested by Mr. President.
The report is very clear itself. The requirement is also very clear. I would therefore recommend, Mr. President, that you just put the question so that we move ahead with other items on the agenda.
But a couple of senators had a word or two of advice to share even while giving their support. They expressed worry over the rising rate of indebtedness and cautioned against mortgaging the nation's future.
I want to observe that Nigeria is gradually going back to the pre-Obasanjo days, when we found ourselves highly indebted in various loans. These loans usually come in this type of form: very low interest rate, very long repayment period, at grace of 5 years, so the governor will spend the money and he will not pay anything. After 5 years, the man succeeding, he will start payment. And I believe if something is not done, if we continue to approve this kind of loan, we approve one for Edo State, we're approving this one, and many others will come. already were indebted. When you look at the debt profile of most of the states, they are indebted to the tune of 100 billion naira, 200 billion, 300 billion, 500 billion. When Obasanjo government removed Nigeria out of the debt trap, you got national applause. But we are back to square one now.
I'm not against the loan. I'm not against the loan. But I want to call the attention of the Senate to what I think was things we have not been doing so aptly. Any matter or thing with respect to which it has power to make laws, we have power to investigate such issues, whether the monies are properly used or not. Now, if we use B2 again, anything that we are executing or administering laws enacted by the National Assembly, whatever we approve is part of our lawmaking processes. We have the power to go back to find out, to investigate, so that at the end of the day, we will have Section 88, 2B, to expose corruption, inefficiency, or waste in the execution or administration of laws within its legislative competence, and the disbursement or administration of funds appropriated by it.
The committees on finance, local and foreign debt should all know these observations on the issue of foreign loans so that we do the proper oversight that is required. Thank you.
With the approval, Lagos State government is left with the third and final tranche of the $600 million World Bank DPO loan. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Standing in the name of distinguished Senator.
Members of the banking community have projected that the Nigerian economy will experience a steady growth if Nigerians imbibe the culture of saving in banks and not their homes. This positive projection, they say, will resurface in 2016 despite the looming fuel scarcity, insecurity challenges and the fight against corruption in Nigeria. Our correspondent Sarah Yago has more details in this report.
It was a gathering of entrepreneurs and banking minds where top bank officials rubbed minds on the state of the Nigerian economy, its present situation and what possible solutions can be adopted. To commemorate the anniversary, the West African Bankers Association gave a lecture titled Driving Economic Growth from the Bottom of the Pyramid, Banking the Unbanked.
The unbanked are those people within the economy who still do not have their financial resources within the financial system. People who still keep monies, as it were, under their pillows. People who still keep their savings in some safes and in some locations of their choices outside of the banks, outside of microfinance institutions, outside of primary mortgage institutions. All of those people and groups and entities need to have their monies coming to the financial system.
Representing the Central Bank of Nigeria's governor, James Iyari, while delivering his keynote speech, says that Nigeria has to invest more on the educational system for growth to occur.
All of us did our programs here, but now you cannot take your children to universities in Nigeria. You know, it's quite painful.
More so, the president of the Banking Association, Ifeanyi Chukwu Nwade, emphasized more on the importance of adopting a saving culture.
As we move more into a cashless society, they need to realize that you only move cash that's already within the system in the safe manner that the electronic platform actually provides for us. So what it takes is the same aggression, the same, would I say, commitment that we have to marketing high net worth clients. We need to put in the same efforts into these unbanked. These people, these entities that do not yet have their monies, their financial resources in the system, and then encourage them to bring those resources into the system.
According to stakeholders at this forum, with these present challenges facing the Nigerian economy, it is important to embrace the saving culture, particularly in banks, in order to boost the economy. Sarah Ayoku, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Statistics from the National Bureau of Statistics has shown Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 2.84% in the third quarter of 2015. This is contained in the country's GDP report for the third quarter of 2015 released by the Bureau on Wednesday in Abuja. The figure was higher by 0.49%, points from growth recorded in the preceding quarter, yet lower by 3.38% point from growth recorded in the corresponding quarter of 2014. The report says the real GDP increased by 9.19% quarter on quarter. Also during the quarter, aggregate GDP stood about 313.363 million in nominal terms at basic prices. Now compared to the third quarter of 2014 value, nominal GDP was 6.02% higher. According to the reports, the Nigerian economy can be more clearly understood according to the oil and non-oil sector clarifications. The report says that oil production rose to 2.17 million barrels per day in the third quarter of the year, which is higher than the 2.05 million barrels produced in the second quarter. The latest figure is also higher than the 2.15 million barrels per day produced in the third quarter of 2014. The Standard Organization of Nigeria said it foresees a significant drop in the rejection of the country's non-oil export to the European Union any moment from now. This optimism is hinged on the ongoing training of 70 staff of the agency over the next 8 months by the EU on requirements for exporting of local honey, cocoa, and gum arabic to the EU markets. The EU is the main destination for agricultural goods from Nigeria, but most of these commodities are rejected because of non-conformity to the EU standards. Speaking during a meeting to herald the commencement of the training, SON Director General Joseph Odumodu disclosed that the project has been facilitated by lead expert Geoffrey Visa from South Africa and a Nigerian Yinka Jayola, adding that 60 to 70 staff of the agency have been selected to undergo the training, and in turn they would train exporters in the key sectors. Now for stories outside Nigeria. 2 suspects linked to attacks in Paris have died after police raided an apartment in the northern suburb of the French capital. Mullins ordered that a female suspect killed herself by detonating a vexed rig with explosives at start of the operation in St. Denis earlier this morning, while the second suspect was shot by police. However, French media says the target of the operation was Belgian national Adam Madid Abra, a key suspect of the attacks, in which at least 129 people were killed. Another suspect, Salah Ad-Islam, was also said to be a target in the raids. Meanwhile, the identity of the casualties was not released. Bangladesh High Court has cleared the way for the government to execute 2 senior opposition politicians convicted of crimes against humanity during the country's independence war in 1971. The Supreme Court dismissed clemency petition filed by Salahuddin Kaudhur and Ali Hassan Mohammed Mujahid, who had requested the court to overturn its earlier decisions upholding the death penalty originally imposed by the International Crimes Tribunal. A tribunal established in 2010 has so far convicted 24 people of crimes against humanity and genocide during the 9-month war, which resulted in the death of hundreds of thousands of people. Most of those convicted by the tribunal, a domestic court, are leaders of Jamaat al-Islami, an Islamic party which in 1971 had supported the goals of the Pakistan military. Reports revealed that the Jamaat, which was declared illegal in 2013, has called for protest against the court verdict. And then sports. The Nigerian Football Federation will on Sunday at the final of the 2015 Federation Cup finals honor more of those who had contributed to making the Federation Cup the most glamorous football tournament in the country. The yearly honor is part of the attempt to restore glory to tournaments that used to draw the biggest crowds as this tournament of shocks and intrigues unfold. The 2015 edition is not left out in terms of shocks, as Oka United and Lobby Stars, 2 teams that finished in the bottom half of the Nigeria Premier League table, will battle it out in the final. The 2015 Federation's Cup honorary list include former Shooting Stars striker Rashidi Yakini, farewell to Mohammed of Mighty Jets. The NFF and the Lagos State Sports Commission have also announced the gates will be free and the sum of 200,000 naira will be won via a raffle draw. Fans coming to the arena have been told to expect a well-monitored situation with efficient crowd control, alert security officers, friendly protocol officers, and well-marshaled parking, all in the bid to make the Federation Cup experience worthwhile for all present. FIFA President Sepp Blatter and Vice President Marco Platini have had appeals against the 90 days ban rejected by World Football Governing Body Appeal Committee. They were suspended in October while FIFA's Ethics Committee investigates corruption claims against them. Blatter, 79, is accused of signing a contract unfavorable to FIFA and making a disloyal payments to Platini, but deny wrongdoings and could appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The adjudicatory panel of FIFA's Ethics Committee is due to hold hearings into the misconduct charges before Christmas. New Zealand's rugby union great Gina Lomas died at age 40. Lomu, who scored 37 tries in 63 matches for New Zealand between 1994 and 2002, had been diagnosed with a rare and serious kidney condition by 1996. It forced him to quit the game, and he had a kidney transplant in 2004, but the organ stopped functioning in 2011. New Zealand rugby chief executive Steve Tew described Jenner as a legend of rugby sport. Well, that is a wrap on CoreTV Primetime News, but before we go, a quick reminder of a major story. Train bomb explosions rock GSM Market in Kano 24 hours after a Damawa blast. We also brought you reports the President Muhammadu Buhari forwards supplementary appropriation bill of 465.636 billion naira to the National Assembly for consideration. And finally, Senate President Bukola Saraki inaugurates 7 recently constituted standing committees at the Upper Legislative Chamber. Many thanks for staying through me tonight. I am Alaj Wakil Latiji. It's bye for now.